the 5th annual First Point Collegiate Challenge here in Phoenix, Arizona at the Phoenix Convention Center. We've got a top about Fabi.
Fabi was an outstanding outside hitter. He's the best left side attack they have. Their opposite, Alexandre Souza, has been played very well lately.
Gant with a serve for the Cardinal, and we are on. Fabakovic on the first pass goes high off the block. Dug by Schmidt, flowing out to the pin at the outside to Snooey, and Snooey Beach and Corona Del Mar High School drives it down the line. Make that an ace for Gant off of Fabakovic, and for Gant, that's ace number 1 of the season.
Interesting fact, both teams are missing their center that started last week's games. So it's going to make them a little bit different. Let's see which backup can step into the role. Ryan Gant did not start. He's starting now.
Gant getting confident at that service line early on with a 2-0 lead. Takes a little off it. Fabakovic tight pass, dumped up top, and delivering is Alex Smits-Van Ooyen, who gets a starting nod tonight. Stands at 6'6" from Las Vegas, Nevada.
He's a really subtle player. You can't really, doesn't look like he's a volleyball player even, but boy, that was a nice play.
Back serve, Smits-Van Ooyen goes cross court over towards Schmidt. Outside, first swing at the outside by Moswag. Covered by Soa, right side to Sosa. Dug by Rotman, flung to the Bick. Tipped by the ball by Rotman, pulling back, changing it up.
Rotman is an excellent player, really, really a good attacker, great beach player. He's had a lot of injuries in his career, so he hasn't played quite as much as he should, but hopefully he's going to have an injury-free senior year.
Alex Rotman's got a brother who is just the big a bomber, and Will Rotman.
Yeah, both big bombers. Their dad was a big bomber.
Fabakovic, Smits-Van Ooyen, shot to the middle over to Bell, who's blocked. Bell again, solo block by Wagner. Smits-Van Ooyen and Bell going to the 5-finger fireball.
You know, something we've got to explain, Rob, is the new rules. Your second contact on your side can almost be anything to get it up there. If it's going over the net, then it's got to be clean. So if your third ball or your second ball going over the net cannot be spinning.
One looking at 3. Daniel Fabakovic going back to serve. Winds up. Pass by Schmidt. In the middle, Gant, and taking it downtown to Phoenix. Luke McFall. McFall coming in with that 6'9" frame. Blasting on that quick.
This is his first set of the year. First set he's played. That's a pretty nice hit.
That brings McFall back to serve from Pleasanton, California, and Amador Valley High School. Fabakovic passes the dime. Fabakovic, back row attacker violation, and hit it in the net.
Yeah, stepped over the 10-foot line and jumped, and then that means it's a violation. And in the net is a double violation.
2 wrongs do not make a right, as we.
But it only makes 1 point.
McFall back to serve again for the Cardinal. They're up 4-2 here in set number 1 in our First Point Collegiate Challenge presented by Nike. Fabakovic reads first swing. Dug at the outside. McFall actually in the middle is Carrera. Knocks it off the block and out of play as a black-clad Cardinal go up 5-2.
Carrera's an interesting history lesson. His grandmother was Rel's son, one of the famous big wave surfers from Makaha, female.
And McFall going aggressive for that end line, misses a few inches long point, going to the Ramblers. Ramblers, as I mentioned in our intro, coming off a huge split week. Like, it's not good to lose a match, but when you're in Hawaii and you're playing in the Stan Sheriff Center, that's a win.
That's a huge win. And the second year in a row they did it.
Rotman on the perfect pass, back set by Gant. Moswag off of Fabakovic, saved by Sosa. Fabakovic down ball, dug in the middle, back by Snooey, right side to Wagner. Dug down the line by Bell, flung out by Smits-Van Ooyen. Reed hits it long, no call. And one of the middles out Brad Bell saying Coach Shane Davis should challenge. And we have a video challenge on the court. First challenge of the night by Shane Davis and the Loyola Ramblers. So from what we can gather, we are looking for a a touch off the block. The first referee, Bill Forrester, indicating that with a one-finger signal towards us. And original call was no touch, the ball hit long. So the courtside staff looking at the replay and wondering if, as we look at assistant coach Spencer Wickens over on the Stanford Cardinal bench, who's leaving us from the men's game and heading over to Golden Gopherville.
Yeah,
as we look on screen for the replay, was there a touch on the block of Stanford? That was Jake Reed on the swing. A better view. I don't know, it's a little high there.
Unless it hit the outside blocker's hands.
And there is a touch. Successful challenge by
Do not doubt, Rob. Do not doubt.
Hey, I never claim perfection, Charlie.
Yeah.
Never claim perfection.
So it's to the point we could just pick the opposite.
So an excellent challenge by Shane Davis and the Ramblers. 1 for 1. Point going to the Ramblers for looking at 6. Rotman over on the pass. He's denied up top by Sosa and Klein, and stuff block at the outside by Swag or Moses Wagner.
Boy, I was told Sosa was big, and then you look at him, he's kind of thin, but that block he just made was big.
Moses Wagner lethal out of that right side. The apex of his jump, taking that swing, and he steps back to serve. Spin picked up by Soa, saved by Smits Van Owen. Reed, triple trouble, but recovered by the Ramblers. Schmidt on the cover, outside. Rotman, Fabakovic, Smits Van Owen shoots it on the go ball. Jake Reed going thumb down on the pound.
When Loyola gets in system, in other words, they're passing to the net and they can be in system, they can shoot that low ball out to Jake Reed and he'll be one-on-one like he was there. If they're out of system, then they have to throw it higher in the air, allowing Stanford to get 2 blockers in front.
Winding up is Sosa and misses just wide and long. Point going to the Cardinal. 8 serving 5 as we take a peek at Alex Rotman going back to serve. Rotman for the Cardinal. Stands at 6'6" from Santa Barbara, California, and Santa Barbara High School. Fabakovic, Schmitz Van Oyen, stuff block up top by Kamana Carrera, and Carrera feasting in the middle on the attack by Aiden Klein.
Carrera was a player that hit both outside and in the middle in high school, and was talented at both. They're using him in the middle, using his quickness and his explosive jump.
9-5 after the stuff block by Comano Carrera, the 6'6" sophomore middle from Mission Viejo, California. Reed passes a dime. Reed on the attack, and Reed unfortunately misses long. And Coach Shane Davis takes his first time out as the Cardinal doubled up the Ramblers here in set number 1 in our First Point Collegiate Challenge, presented by Nike and Charlie. Early match action. Well, we'll get that when we get back as we are going away. We'll be back in just a few moments here in Phoenix. Robespierre with Charlie Brand, and it has been hot in here.
You know, Stanford has been very, very efficient with the ball. No hitting mistakes. Loyola has 3 hitting mistakes and 1 less kill, thus the difference in the match.
Rotman at the service line, over towards Reed. Smits Van Owen goes into the middle, and Aiden Klein rising up to the top.
He's got long. He plays big too, very big.
And for all us not so tall people, that's a 2-ball set, and for Klein, that's a quick set.
Yeah, yeah. Ball was high but quick.
Reed on the serve, goes over towards Rotman, flung back by Gant. Wagner misses long. Point going to Loyola. 7 serving 10. Loyola, one of the top upsets of the week in week 2 of the young NCAA Collegiate men's volleyball season. Reed, overpass, Fabakovic feeding up top as the Czechian patrols the net up high and returns it quickly on the stuff block. 8 serving to 10 in our It's a brawl. It's plain volley brawl right now. Blast off the cable, picked up by Schmidt, flung out to the pin, and Snooey doing a little frontal lobotomy surgery down the line.
It's a nice shot by Snooey. Hit late in his swing, let the block go up and come back down, hit over the top down the line. Perfectly
That
played.
was great vision by Snooey. He saw that alleyway down the line, although his shoulders are looking at that angle.
Yeah, looked angle, hit line, found a little block, which makes it more difficult.
Low set to the outside by Fabakovic, blocked by McFall, and Gant set up and over free ball. Rotman with the handles, but McFall with a hammer. That was a feast, one of a kind on that over. McFall letting her rip.
Perfect time to set the middle in the middle of a transition play. Balls back and forth, go to the middle. That's your highest percentage hitter.
Kamana Carrera, the 6'8" sophomore middle, went to Tesoro High School. That's in Mission Viejo, California. Hand pass by Soa. And Smith Van Ooyen covered by Wagner. One-hand dish by Snooey. Picked up by Fabakovic. Back to Sosa. Sosa denied. Covered by Smith Van Ooyen. Soa handsets outside. Fabakovic drills the fire down the line.
Yeah, that's the same thing. You look cross court, hit the line, right straight down the line.
Sosa leading the Ramblers in kills so far this season, especially breaking out of that Hawaii Saturday match last weekend. Had 28 total kills after that week of play. As that jump serve by Klein misses wide. As you go 13-9, you're looking at Ryan Gant back to serve. Spin serve misses long by Ryan Gant. Point going to Loyola on that unforced error. 13-9. Alex Smith Van Ooyen, the 6'6" setter from Las Vegas, Nevada. Coronado High School going back to serve.
Always interesting to see your setter serving from back left and having to come all the way over to the right to play defense.
And Luke McFall going atomic in the middle. That brings Teo Snooey back to serve for Stanford, the 6'8" senior outside from Berkeley, California. Snooey drills it over towards Fabakovic. Back set on the give and go, and Fabi sends a little fire down the line.
Fabakovic passed that from about 20 feet and then hit a really quick back set. Great move, great movement to the ball by him.
As the run and gun offense, Rambler style.
Yep.
As Fabakovic goes back to serve. And it has a little too much juice on it as it sails long on the spin serve. 10 looking at 15. McFall going back to serve. McFall 3 kills, 0 errors, hitting .750 as our first substitution for Stanford. Luke Morrison checking in on the Cardinals side.
He's a left-handed jump server. Plays once every game. He's got a good serve. He gets on a roll. He's left-handed, as I said.
Morris stands at 6'4" from Irvine, California, Beckman High School. Southpaw swing, cross court. Good pass by Reed. Back to Reed. Fires cross court. Dug by Rotman. Tipped by Snooey. Back slap flipper by Smith Van Ooyen. Free ball by Sosa. And the ball misses just long. I thought it was a campfire defense kill for the Ramblers. Let's see how close it was. Ooh, just inches.
That ball might have been in.
Perchance, will there be a challenge? No one is moving around on that one, so we play on. R1, our referee, Bill Forrester, looking back at the table on the replay. Sergio Gonzalez and Patty Rolfe is our R2. Looking at head coach Shane Davis. second year back in his second stint at Loyola. Sosa off the top of the block, dug by the Cardinal. Free ball up and over by Rotman. Hand pass by Bell. Bell gets it off the block. Dug outside by Morrison, and Sosa lighting up out of the right side. Some fast action happening courtside here as we look at the replay. Morrison on that pickup, but unfortunately fed the beast in Alexander Sosa. Substitution for Loyola checking in. Lucas Anderson in for Brad Bell for serving purposes. Lucas Anderson, 6'4", opposite. May recognize the appearance and last name. Son of Anne-Marie Anderson, world of famous volleyball commentator.
Yep.
Snooey, ball tipped by the block by Carrera. Hand pass by Schmidt. Back set to Moswag. And going ballistic is Moses Wagner out of the right side. Substitution back in is Brad Bell for Lucas Anderson. Wagner back to the service line up 17-12. Wagner stands at 6'6", a senior opposite from San Jose and Bellarmine College Prep. Wagner goes for it down the line, but misses long. Point going to the Ramblers. Charlie, it's funny seeing the volleyball names in the house, right down the line, just at the outserve. Sean Scott of USAV Beach.
All of USAV Beach and indoor. They're all here.
Sosa off the cable, pass by the Cardinal. Rotman denied up top, but recovered by Stanford. So on the free ball pass, Van Owen right side, Sosa. Sosa pops a cap in the corner off of Snooey.
He hit out of the back row for the right side. He made an inside approach, drew the block to the line, and then opened up the cross court.
Sosa, you can see the fire in his eyes as he steps back to serve for Loyola. Cross court pass by Snooey. Gant to Snooey, denied. It was solo stuff by Aiden Klein. He did not bite on the quick attack and instead jumped on the pick. And we got a timeout taken by Stanford. Still leading here in set number one, 17-14.
You see how long?
As we take a peek over at Shane Davis, the coach for the Loyola Ramblers, got him a couple national championships, decided, you know what? I'm going to go over to the women's side. But he doesn't travel far. He goes right down the street over to Northwestern, where you can see the chapel in the sky. Easy move for his family. And when Coach John Hawks of UCLA, who happened to be here, decided to leave Loyola after coaching there, Shane was attending the University of California, Irvine as a setter.
Very, very good all-around player. Right now he's a starting setter, but he could play a lot of spots.
Jumps her by Sosa, goes into the net for a point, going to Stanford, now up 18-15. As we have another substitution for the Cardinal. Checking in is number 10, Ryan Duras, 6'3", senior from Gilroy, California. Duras has seen playing time here at the first point here in previous years as well. Broken play picked up by the Ramblers. Sosa on the swing, dug by Wagner in the middle of the Carrera, and going thumb down on the pound is Kamana Carrera.
That ball, Rob, was over the block. Over the block, and look at that.
That was a Polaroid moment right there for Mono Carrera as he reaches as high as he could, get over that block and go cross court.
Thumbs down, thumb away.
As we take a peek on the bench at Ryan Duras, who just came in to serve and was in the starting lineup last year. Coach Cossey had a great set of circumstances coming back in 2026. He returned his entire team.
Yeah, that's what I said about the three pins. They've been together for all these years. There's some real value in experience, playing together and being explosive.
As you take a peek at that very talented Stanford bench, finish the season in fourth in the MPSF and finish actually the preseason poll for the MPSF, are picked to finish fourth again. But when you look at the other teams that are in front of them, you've got UCLA, you've got USC, you've got Pepperdine, you've still got Stanford, and you got to deal with this team named BYU.
Well, I would not sleep on Stanford. Stanford, look what they've done the last 2 years in the MPSF tournament. They've made a big move, much better finish than they finished in the league.
As the teams retake the court, you're looking at Coach John Costi of the Cardinal, as going back to serve as Ryan DuRoss in for serving and defensive purposes. The black-clad Cardinal with a 4-point lead, but the Ramblers finding rhythm here so far, and a good timeout taken by Coach Shane Davis.
No, I think you jinxed him is what happened. All that good stuff.
Jake Reed going back to serve for Loyola. The 6'4" junior outside from Newport Beach and Newport Harbor High School.
I know him well.
Reed over towards Schmidt, set to the outside, tipped by the block, saved by Schmidt Van Ooyen. Fabakovic taking it cross court on that rocket.
Boy, that's a hard 4-to-4 angle. Just turned it from area 4, hard cross court into the open spot.
That was a thin deli slice right there.
A thin deli slice, huh?
It's all about food here, Charlie. Food.
Yeah.
Back set by Gant to Wagner. He's denied up top, but it goes out of play. I thought maybe it rolled over his shoulder as he landed in his crouch position, but it goes out of play. Got a substitution now coming in. Carson Neisel coming in for Mana Carrera. 20 serving 17. Neisel, the 6'5" junior outside from Arvada, Colorado, serves that one long. And we're going to see another substitution for Loyola checking in now. Aiden Delorier in for Aiden Klein. Delorier from Eastport, New York, and Eastport South Manor. Freshman outside who stands at 6'3", in for serving and defensive purposes. Delorier looks, full spin serve, and misses wide and long into the Stanford bench. So we're going to have a quick substitution back, and that's Aiden Klein back in for Delorier. And back serve goes Ryan Gant of Stanford. Gant already 11 assists and a dig so far in set number 1. Reed on the dime. Smith Van Ooyen to Sosa. Sosa with a levitation out of the right side. And knocking on the door. Ramblers down by 2 at 19-21.
Boy, he got up high and he waited and just saw the seam and hit through the seam and down in front of the player. The real key to hitting when there's an opening in the block is to see where the defense is and hit it down in front or high up in the shoulders.
Alex Smits Van Ooyen. Ball's passed by Schmitz. Miscommunication. Free ball up and over by Wagner. Smith Van Ooyen to Fabakovic. Misses long. Missed opportunity to convert for Loyola. And they take a 22-19 lead. Which brings Teo Snui back to serve for the Cardinal. Snui, 3 kills, hitting 600. He's got a dig tallied up as well. Off-speed jump serve outside to Sosa. You've got to get up to get down, but it goes wide. Wow. He was flying, but unfortunately turned it out of play.
Boy, that was a sensational hit, though. People are oohing and awing in the crowd.
Snui serves it again, misses long. 20 serving at 23. And we've got an extended huddle in the middle of the court for the Ramblers as the first referee, Bill Forrester, whistles them on as Daniel Fabakovic goes back to serve for Loyola. Fabakovic goes off speed, hybrid over towards Schmidt. Gant right side of Wagner. Wagner dug by Fabi, knocked over on 2 by Sosa. Covered by Snooey in the middle, over towards McFall. And McFall delivers. We've got set point Stanford serving the 20. McFall coming in hard with a heater.
Stanford's first match lost to Lewis was kind of a quick one, and they seem to have really responded and come back really
Tough
well.
serve by McFall, set by Smith Van Oyen, and Sosa cracking the whip off the block. 21 serving to set point number 2. What a swing by Sosa as Aiden Klein goes back to the service line for Loyola. Klein over towards Snooey. Set over towards Rotman. Dug up and out of play. And set number 1 going to the Cardinal as they take the first 25-21 to go up 1-0 on the number 7 Ramblers of Loyola. Don't go.
Loyola's front row players are all 6'6" or taller. Jake Reed in at 6'4", maybe 6'3". He's in there because of his ball control, his steadiness, and that stuff that makes the team work.
Tough serve pass by Rodman, and the dump by Gant covered by Soa. Fabakovic dug by Rodman on the cross-court attack. Wagner lights up down. Soa takes the bullet. Fabakovic roll shot. Back flipper by Rodman. Knuckle shot by McFall. Covered by Sosa. Free ball. Covered by Schmidt. Set outside over towards Snooey. And Snooey turning on beast mode at the pin.
That was razzle dazzle. Dig. Get outside one-on-one. Cross-court wide open. Again, he looked past the block. Hit it to nobody where nobody was.
Teo Snooey letting it rip. All that for point number 1 here in our second set.
Yeah, that was a long rally.
Gant serves in on the net. We're all tied up at 1 apiece. And that brings Aiden Klein back to serve for Loyola. Klein, the 6'9" junior middle from Evanston, Illinois, and Evanston Township. Easily touching 12-1 from what Coach Shane Davis told me. And he said that's such a big number for him because he's seen that improvement just in this last year from 11-8 to 12-1.
Look at his arms. He's got the longest arms in the world. That helps.
2-1 after the service there as Snooey takes a rip, chops it over towards Soa. Smith Van Oyen to Fabakovic, dug up and over by Snooey. Backs at the Sosa. Sosa playing pinball off the block. Hand pass by Schmidt. And Rotman with the rise and rip.
Boy, Rotman is playing as advertised.
Alex O'Rodman taking it down on that perfect hut ball.
Yeah, up and over the block.
Letting her rip is Snooey on the spin. Going off speed is Bell. Wagner dug up one hand by Sosa, saved by Soa. Fabakovic going for the high ball havoc tool.
You know, you've got, if you look at where middle back is, and there's 2 blockers in front of you, and you go high off the hands towards the void, wherever it is in the back row, you can score. That's where that ball was.
Back to serve is Alex Smith Van Oyen with a trailing 2-3. A trickler picked up by Gant, set by Schmidt. Rotman denied up top. Covers his own ball, set up and over by Snooey. Picked up by Bell, outside to Fabakovic. And Fabakovic getting the end line love. And we're going to have a challenge immediately.
Oh, I just asked.
Actually, it's not a challenge, it's a official's review.
I just talked to Ken Taylor, who's sitting over here next to me, who's a top-notch official and head of the officials. He said they're trying this with no lines people. The head referee is going to make a call. If there's a question like there is on that one, then they're going to refer to the cameras that showed it.
Beautiful work by our ESPN camera crew getting that end line shot, tagging that end line. So we've got a tie score at 3-3. Smits Van Ooyen over towards Snooey. Back set to Wagner. Wagner goes off the block and Soa and out of play. 4-3. That brings Luke McFall back to the service line for Stanford.
One thing that's great to see, Rob, is how good the middles are serving and playing defense. That wasn't always the case.
McFall over to Fabakovic. Fabakovic driving it down the line. Point going to Loyola, and we're tied at 4s. Fabakovic rising out of that right side attack. Sees a little window down the line and takes advantage of it. Fabakovic, cross court over towards Schmidt. Bick over to Snooey. And sending fire down the pipe is Teo Snooey. For Snooey, that's killed number 5, who's hitting a scorching 571 so far in our match. Wagner to Fabakovic. Smits Van Ooyen to Reed. And Reed showing he's got hops that you can't stop.
Well, he hit the cross court 3 times in a row very effectively. Block moved in, give him the line to hit, turns it right down the line.
That ties us up here in set number 2-5-5. Hybrid misses long by Bell as the aggressive serve floats out of play, bringing Alex Rotman back to serve. The 6'6", a redshirt junior outside. Rotman going through his service routine. Low toss. Picked up by Fabakovic. Out of system play. Set to Sosa. Sosa over the block but out of play. Like that, the Cardinal up by 2 at 7-5. As you look at Alexander Sosa coming off a big weekend, again leading the Ramblers at 28 kills going into this tournament this weekend. Rotman serving it up again for the Cardinal. Takes a little off it. Reed with a perfect pass. Big to Fabakovic as he drives it right down the gut. 6-7.
Thing of beauty with the pass right at the target. Someone up on the quick. Someone up on the go outside set. Hit it to Bick with a hole in the block.
The block was overloaded. They didn't know who to jump on.
Hit 3 hitters, 2 blockers.
And solo stuffage by Aiden Klein, the 6'9" junior middle from Evanston. And Aiden Klein celebrating the point as we're all tied up again at 7s. Big serve by Sosa, pass by Schmidt in the middle over towards Carrera, and Carrera drills the pill. That's the thing, Charlie. These middles are letting it all go.
Well, they're attacking, and even if they get stopped, they come right back. And as I said, their back row play is so much better than it was, knowing that that's an important part of the game.
Mono Carrera to Reed. Smits Van Ooyen, and they go for the 40 set to Fabakovic. Oh, I love it when these setters mix it up like that.
They're moving where they set that back row ball to, which really makes it hard on the block.
A big seam between McFall and Snooey with that changeup of that back row set. Reed, pass by Rotman. Gant over towards Snooey. One hand save by Smits Van Ooyen. Sosa cross court off of Wagner and puts it away.
How about that vision to see the hole in the block there? He sees the very, very small seam between the middle and the right side and finds it.
Beautiful shot by Alexander Sosa. Reed pops it down the line. Right side over towards Wagner. Wagner off the triple block on the long distance tool.
You like that long distance
I love that long distance tool.
It'd be much easier to go short distance tool.
All 3 blockers up. You can see the error of the setter, Alex Smits Van Ooyen, who had his hands straight up instead of pointing back into the court.
You're the guy that has to drop into that angle.
Sosa in the middle over towards Klein. Right side Wagner. He's stuffed up top. Fabakovic and Klein on the double stuff. And Loyola beginning to find a little rhythm here in our second set. And Klein going back to the service line for Loyola. Klein's first kill of the night as he serves into the net. Service there ties us up at 10s. And going back to serve is Teo Snui. Snui on the night for the Cardinal. 5 kills, 1 error, hitting .500. Fabakovic on the pass, backs at the Sosa. Sosa having some difficulties here. A few attack errors, and we got a video challenge requested by head coach Shane Davis. I believe it's going, actually they're going for, Bill Forrester indicated it is a touch off the block, but I believe it's going to be a net touch.
Yeah, Shane Davis said net.
So we will see what the official challenge, we're going to wait for the confirmation, but they didn't throw the fingers up, but we can assume he didn't want the block touch, he wanted the net touch on the Stanford blocker. So let's watch the replay.
The net was bouncing.
Let's see when they come down. The blockers is what we're looking at in black.
The outside
Do they land into
Watch
the net?
the outside blocker, right there.
Does it shake the net? We got to go a little bit farther into the play there.
Yeah, see, it was shaking. They hit it as they turned.
If it was as the elbow, but we need to see a little bit longer to see where that elbow followed through of the blocker.
Yeah.
On that net view, like Rotman, I believe, is the blocker that got his elbow into the net right there, that right arm. If it was a micro touch.
The net was jumping, though, afterward.
And a net violation is called, which means Shane Davis is 2 for 2 on challenges.
It's a big part of being a good coach, you know, being able to see it.
And Coach John Costi having issue with Bill Forrester's call.
Yeah. I don't think that, I mean, I think that was pretty obvious.
Yeah?
Yeah. I saw, saw it right away.
Well, it is a short discussion, a heated discussion, or high-intensity discussion. Alex Smits Van Oyen over towards Schmidt, outside to Rotman, tipped. So a hand sets right side. Sosa off of Gant, saved by Schmidt. Free ball by Morrison, or question by Gant. Right side Sosa, and look out below. Alexander, the great, levitating over the block. My, oh my, look at the height of that reach as he splits the seam as well.
But what I like is he just doesn't stop. He's full speed, and then more full speed.
Smits Van Oyen back to serve, 12-10 lead, and misses just long. A little too much adrenaline after that big point as Luke McFall makes his way to the service line for the Cardinal. McFall on the night, 4 kills, 0 errors, hitting .667. Great night for the middle blocker for the Cardinal. And he floats that one long. You know what? I'm not going to praise anyone's play anymore.
Do not. That's the rule of broadcasting. No compliments until after.
Well, that brings the ABCA All-American honoree, Daniel Fabakovic, back to serve for the Ramblers. 13 serving 11. Hybrid drops over towards Snui. Kamana Carrera dug by Smits Van Oyen. Sosa off the cable, covered by Wagner, and Carrera dug by Soa. Schmidt, the opposing libero, does the same, and Sosa tools the block up high on the garbage play. What action here on the garbage play winner.
I believe that set over should have been called. It was spinning sideways.
I think Coach John Costi feels the same way, but instead takes the timeout. I'm not a good lip reader, but it's not Barrow And we have got an entertaining match to kick off our tournament that has been an annual exciting one to sit at as we take a peek at Daniel Fabakovic at the service line for the Ramblers. Serves it into the net, so a good timeout by Coach John Costi.
Boy, this game has been really well played. Defense is going back and forth, big long rallies, high contact, high blocks, a lot of great serving. It's good.
Moses Wagner serving 5 kills, hitting 385. Goes cross court over towards Fabakovic. Low back row set. Fabakovic sets it over. Overpass by Wagner. Set right side to Sosa. Sosa getting up to get down. Alexander, the great, grilling it down the line. Or as Charlie's favorite saying is, the backyard barbecue.
No, that's what you say. I don't say backyard barbecue.
And Lucas Anderson checks in again for Loyola for serving and defensive purposes. He's got a nasty, wicked jump spin. Cross court picked up by Snooey. Outside set to Rotman. And Rotman goes futile and extremely hard off the block.
Well, the block's in front of you. He just turns line, creates an angle of reflection to go off the block. No defender over here.
An angle of reflection. I should get my protractor out, Charlie. I want to measure that angle.
Very simple concept.
We've got 13 serving at 15 as checking in as Ryan DeRoss for the Cardinal. Dross has been used for serving and defensive purposes tonight only. Overpass on the one-timer, and Teo Snooey on the one-time termination. For Snooey, that's kill number 6, who's the hot hand for Stanford. And we've got a quick timeout taken by head coach Shane Davis of Loyola. Charlie, you're looking at our play. How would you classify what we're seeing here?
Well, if you let up on serve receive, they've been so good for most of the match, but you let up a couple of balls and you overpass them, simplest point you can score, and that's where Stanford's kind of made the move to catch up here.
What do you see numbers-wise as you look at the box score?
Well, both teams are hitting about 340, about the same. They have 20, 23 kills, only 4 errors. So it's pretty close. Blocking really hasn't been a factor. With that, Loyola only has 3 blocks, and Stanford has 1 block. So it's not much difference. So it really comes down to serving and passing. A lot of serves out, a lot of missed serves. 8 serves out for Stanford and 9 serves out for Loyola.
But overall, like offensively, both teams are hot. Hitting over 300 or 333 for Loyola and 400 for Stanford.
Yeah, very good.
High octane offense is happening here, and even in transition, we're seeing some really good balls still kept in play, put away by some of the top opposites in the game, and Alexander Sosa and Moses Wagner.
Both of those two, that's who they like to go to off a dug ball if they can't get it to the middle. They really do like first option in the middle.
That keeps Ryan DeRoss back to the service line for the Cardinal. High toss into the net, and a timely timeout for Loyola as they go up by a pair at 16-14.
Too many missed serves after timeouts. That's kind of a Cardinal rule. You have all the momentum. That's why they call the timeout.
Cardinal rule, Charlie?
Yes.
Sosa back to serve.
Well,
9
maybe
kills.
it's a Rambler rule too, I hope,
389 hitting for Sosa. Tough serve. Is it an ace? Saved. Free ball up and over by Gant, covered by Silva. Smith Van Oyen, and pulling the trigger on the shoot set is Aiden Klein. 17-14. Aiden Klein calling for that ball like he's eating raw meat. Yeah, a certain coach taught me that saying back in my day. Ball's passed by Schmidt. Outside to Snooey, and we've got double trouble at the net. Smits, Van Ooyen, and Klein doubling down on the Snooey attack.
Boy, the last 3 or 4 plays, Klein has just taken over.
And we've got another timeout, this time taken by Stanford, trailing by 4 here in set number 2. You're looking at,
as I said, both teams hitting well, especially out the middle. Missed serves hurt you.
So I'm sure you've taken a peek at that numbers, Charlie, but how many service errors for Stanford do you see?
They've had 8 service errors. Loyola's had 10 service errors. My problem is when they've missed their serve badly in the net after they have the momentum. Timeout was called or the big block, and then they miss their serve. This one will be a good indication. Do we get this serve in after the timeout?
The famous Charlie, I told you so.
Yeah.
So with that service error, that for Loyola, that service error number 11 versus Stanford, who has 9 service errors. As we take a peek at the substitution, Luke Morrison serving for Stanford. 15 serving to 18. Morrison to Soa just keeps it in play. Trap set and make that an ace for Luke Morrison. That's his first ace of the season.
Well, Aiden Klein decided to become a setter, and he just set the ball way, way too close to the back row attacker.
16 looking at 18. Morrison delivers. Fabakovic, Smits, Van Ooyen, Jake and Reed on the run and gun. Dug by Rotman. The shove shot by Snooey picked up by the Ramblers. Fabakovic misses wide out of the back row. And we've got a crunch time score at 17 serving 18. And we've got a timeout taken this time by Loyola with the Cardinal on a 2-point run here in our second set.
They've really worked to control the ball, keep the ball in play. They have 3 blockers up on the last ball, which is pretty, when you have 3 blockers and the play is slow like that, really easy to get in front of it.
Well, if you look at that bench here, Stanford really wanting a big win after one of the, people are saying it's an upset loss last weekend, but the reality of the matter is the Lewis Flyers are a good team.
Absolutely.
It can go either way. And the Cardinal of Stanford trailing by 1.
When you have this much parity, it really makes it interesting and fun to know from a coach's standpoint where it's going to go.
Trap set to the outside. Reed pokes it off the block. Another joust. One out top. Smits, Van Ooyen, one-hand dish. Reed inside the block. And Reed stepping up the ladder and dropping it down the chute.
I told you I've known Jake Reed for his whole life, and plays like that do not surprise me.
And with that, 19-17, Reed back to the service line. For Reed, that's kill number 4. Ball's passed by Rotman. Snooey off the top of the block. Smits, Van Ooyen on the cover. Set by Soa. Sosa taking it down, and he lights up the inside seam.
I don't even know how that ball made it through the block. There was nowhere for it to go.
Yeah, Coach Shane Davis, when you ask him about how he ended up with Alexander Sosa, just happened to show up in the portal.
Yeah, yep, and he got him first.
Set by Gant, right side. Wagner chop shot, dug up and over. Picked up by Wagner. Gant in the middle. Ball's technical fall, dug by Reed outside of Fabakovic. Tip, and Fabakovic with his finesse game gets the winner. 21-17.
Fabakovic has been hitting so hard, and then the brilliance to take a little off of it, just roll it into the seam, is great volleyball.
Reed down the line over towards Rotman, back to Snooey. Snooey getting the end line winner. 18 serving to 21.
So funny with no line judges out here. You got all the fans sitting right on the lines, calling it whichever way they want it for their team.
18 serving to 21. So a perfect dime. Sosa cross court misses wide. Point going to the Cardinals, now trailing by 2. And back to serve Ryan Gant again for Stanford. Gant delivers and misses too long. Point going to Loyola. Substitution checking in Aiden Delorier for Aiden Klein. Delorier came in set number 1. Get a couple serves in for the Blurs. Delorier, the 6'3" freshman outside from Eastport, New York. Fires right into the seam to Rotman, outside to Wagner, who's blocked up top. Wagner gets a second swing and gets to Stanford. 20 serving to 22. Back in comes Klein for Delorier. Excellent play by Moses Wagner.
Just to see the one blocker on, kind of a trap set. Wipe it out of bounds.
Spin by Snooey. Smits Van Ooyen on the shoot set in the middle. That's Brad Bell. Bell coming in, opening up so his setter could see him. Feeds him the ball perfectly on that blast. Smits Van Ooyen back to serve for Loyola. 23 serving to 20. Van Ooyen, or Smits Van Ooyen. Bump set save. Rotman off speed and gets the jumbo winner if you're not a beach player. High, deep roll shot into the corner over the defender.
Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Yeah. It was a jumbo.
Check-ins Carson Neisel for serving in defensive purposes. The 6'6" junior outside from Arvada, Colorado. Tough serve, make that an ace. 61 miles per hour off the libero, J.J. Soa. For Neisel, that's ace number 1 of the season. Neisel again. Pass by Fabakovic. And Alexander Sosa busting out the whooping stick. We've got set point Loyola serving at 22. Ball's dug by Fabakovic. Back set by Smith Van Ooyen. Sosa off.
To be women. Now then he got really involved with the men and the boys and has really expanded it, especially through this First Point organization.
And with that, our love goes to Kathy, and I know that she couldn't be here, and I know that she loves the game, but obviously there, had to take some time off with the recent passing of Glenn. But we are just so thankful to have come to know Glenn Litsky and Glenn and Kathy as a team here in the volleyball world. So with that, we've got Loyola up 2-0. Actually 2-1 now after that service error as Teo Snooey goes back to serve for Stanford.
Match is tied 1 set apiece, so it's very exciting. And you look at the stats, very, very even. Only difference is number of hitting errors that Loyola Chicago has, and not by much.
And that brings Aiden Klein back to the service line for Loyola. Klein on the night for the Ramblers. 2 kills, hitting 250s. Got 2 solo stuffs and 2 block assists. Gant sets and Rotman wipes it off the block in a textbook tool.
Textbook tool.
Is the perfect pinky. All he got was a little pinky on the nail.
That's all it takes.
Because he's a lover, not a fighter.
Jeez, Rob.
Luke McFall going back to serve for the Cardinal. 2 looking at 3. Soa, Smith Van Ooyen, and Fabakovic popping a cap in the corner. As he swings away, Danny Fabakovic now getting his 12th kill. He's going toe-to-toe with Alexander Sosa, also with 12 kills, both hitting over 400.
Both are hitting in the 400 range. Still, let's talk about Alex Rodman's 5 kills, 10 attempts, no errors. Or let's Luke McFall, 4 kills, 0 errors out of 7 attempts. Stanford also has both hitting over 500.
Well, this has been an offensive display here tonight as the fireworks have been going off. Wagner back to serve, goes off speed, picked up by Fabakovic. Smith Van Ooyen, Sosa tipped, rejected by Carrera. Fabakovic out of the right side, goes to the uprights of Teo Snui. Fabakovic on that quick second jump. Yeah. All he had to do is reach and swing.
Yeah, that was forced into that play because of the mechanics of what happened, and he made the most out of it.
Fabakovic going back to serve for the Ramblers. Tough serve. Is it an ace? No. Saved by Schmidt. Free ball by Gant. We'll see what the offering is for the Ramblers. Smith Van Ooyen to Sosa, and Sosa wins the one-on-one battle against Rotman.
Great job looking like he's going to go across his body and then just keeping it right down the line for the tool.
Alexander Sosa, the 6'8" opposite hitter from Zrenjanin, Serbia. Fabakovic over towards Schmidt. Back set over to Wagner. Dug by Soa. Saved by Fabi. And free ball unfortunately goes into the net. Sosa got trapped underneath it as Reed and he gave a good look at each other.
He almost just needed to put his hand up and just free ball, poke it over.
Rotman going back to serve for the Cardinal. 4 looking at 6. Rotman chops it over towards Fabakovic. One-hand dish knocked down in the middle by Brad Bell. And welcome to the Magic Show by Alex Smith Van Ooyen.
And he's used that one-hand set in so many different directions and so accurately.
You got to love it when a setter starts finding his confidence, because people had to wonder with Ryan McGelligot setting the first 2 matches of the year. And high tip down the line by Teo Snui.
As I said earlier, both setters are starting their first match of the season. They've both taken the previous starting setter is out now.
Mono Carrera going back to serve for the Cardinal. 4 serving, correction, 5 serving to 7. Float serve over towards Fabi. Outside Reed. And Reed chopping it down the line. Gotta love what Jake Reed is doing. You know, everyone's saying he's an undersized outside hitter, but for undersized, he's got himself 4 kills on the night.
5 kills on the night.
Oh, my system didn't refresh quickly enough. Ball's passed by Rotman, back set over to Wagner, and Wagner snipes Soa down the line.
Wagner seems to be getting really raising it to a whole nother level. Like we're 1-1. Okay, watch this.
And that's when Mo Swag comes out.
Mo Swag.
It's his alter ego as Ryan Gant goes back to serve. Reed, Smith Van Ooyen, Bick over towards Fabakovic, dug by Gant. Saved by Wagner. Rotman off speed shot, dug by Fabi. In the middle to Klein, and Klein on the stop and pop. Textbook transition play for the Ramblers, resulting in that perfect point.
They've got the quick, they've got the shoot to the outside, they've got the Bick all going on every in-system play. It's just tough to stop.
And jump serve by Reed, misses long, point going to Stanford. Now, as we look at this Rambler team, the last time I saw Shane Davis, 2015, when they won that second national championship with Cody Caldwell, Thomas Jeschke. But you know where they won that national championship at? Stanford.
Yeah, that's right. Cody Caldwell's grandfather was an All-American basketball player at Stanford, George Yardley.
And look at Alexander Sosa as he goes over the shoulder with that massive boulder attack. And that national championship match, if you remember who it was?
Lewis.
A 5-set thriller with an extended 5th set.
Yep. Exciting.
Klein serves into the net. And the funny story between the two is Dan and Shane are really good friends. They've been roommates for a lot of the things. So when they saw each other in the final, it's like, good luck. Although there's this big Chicago rivalry. But
it's like in Newport Beach when I was coaching and Dan Glenn was coaching. We surfed together, traveled together. It was not a rivalry. It was just two good teams.
Fabakovic bringing the heater at the outside pin. Fabakovic. Sosa gets one kill on top of him, and then Fabakovic says, here, he's probably telling Smith Van Ooyen, set me.
Well, and they're not soft shots. All of them are hammered.
And that brings Alex Smith Van Ooyen. Smith Van Ooyen misses long. Point going to the Cardinal. Seems like the service error bug has bitten again here in our second set. Crowd getting a little fussy and reckless here. Or not restless, not reckless. Wagner towards Fabi. And the middle attack goes into the net by Bell.
Ball dropped just a little bit, causing the middle hitter to hit it down into the block.
Was it a block or get into the net? Oh, it was into the net.
Yeah, ball wasn't high enough.
Wagner back to the service line for Stanford. Wagner 7 kills, hitting 250 on the evening. Misses that one long. 12 serving 10 after the service error as we take a peek at Danny Fabakovic serving for Loyola. Fabakovic has had a wonderful career up and has continued to elevate his game each year. The ABCA All-American has been so fun to watch, playing alongside Parker Van Buren in the last couple seasons. Set outside. Rotman swings away. Dug by Fabakovic. Saved by Reed. Set up and over by Smith Van Ooyen. Quick back attack to Carrera. Sosa. Soft touch inside the block. Pancake save. Unsuccessful. Oh, there could be. They're calling the ball dead. I saw the ball up, Charlie, but I've been known to be wrong. Oh, are they going to challenge a floor touch? There may have been a inadvertent whistle on that call.
I think he blew it too early.
Yeah, let's see if this. I mean, you see the ball change directions. There's another one. So that ball is good. Lands in.
Yeah.
On that ball over the net. So there's no challenge right now issued on the court or requested by Stanford. The R1 and R2 are actually discussing
if that was an inadvertent whistle.
It's a replay.
It's a replay. So they'll start all over again.
So Patty Rolfe, the R2, is speaking to Stanford coach John Costi. She pointed over to the replay monitor as she's talking to him, as you can see on your screen there. Because at least from what we can see, and we don't have the best of angles, the ball was still good and in play. And now Costi formally puts the challenge symbol. So it's going to be a floor touch challenge for ball in
saying,
out.
Yeah, no, Costi's saying the ball was up.
Yeah. So floor touch, ball in out.
But
let's see.
Blew the whistle too early. Blew the whistle right there.
Yeah.
And then the ball happens to be.
Oh, and the play stands as called. That was a quick review there, Charlie. All right, 13 serving to 10.
The whole rule on the pancake needs to be more defined.
Yeah.
Did a part of the ball touch it or not? I mean, you got to slow it down a lot to see that.
13 serve and a 10, the correct score, as Fabakovic delivers again. A nasty hybrid serve. Rotman unleashing the beast at the outside. You could hear the pop of that ball through our headset.
Yeah, he hit it pretty hard.
Now his brother Will, when Alex first came up, said at the get-go, he goes, my brother's me a lot bigger and stronger than I was. And if you know Will, that is one strong outside hitter.
Yeah, their dad was strong player also.
Service into the net for Ryan Duras. Substitution now for Loyola. Lucas Anderson checking in for Aiden Bell. 14-11. I'm telling you, Lucas Anderson is due for an ace. He's been ripping the ball.
You know, everybody likes lefties serving. Lefties on the far left. And you just did it again, Rob.
You jinxed him, Charlie.
No.
Everybody likes lefties.
They like
that
lefties.
Was you.
I didn't say anything about the serve coming in. They just like him. Anne Marie's son.
Serving is at 12-14. Checking in, Luke Morrison now for the Cardinal.
Rob,
they're bringing all the southpaws to serve.
Don't say anything about his serve.
Morrison from Irvine, California. Stands at 6'4". Perfect pass by Fabakovic. Shoots set to Bell, and Bell pulls the trick.
276, 233. So they're trending in opposite directions.
Sosa on the jump serve, and the attack goes into the net by McFall. Ramblers up 4 at 16-12. Alexander Sosa now leading the way for the Ramblers. 15 kills, hitting .462, a scorching .577. Jump serve misses long. Point going to Stanford. Going back to serve is Ryan Gant for the Cardinal. Gant with 28 assists, an ace, and 5 digs so far tonight. Gant into the net, point going to Loyola. Someone trying to get that second win here in our best of 5 as we see Jake Reed going back to serve for the Ramblers. Reed with 5 kills, hitting .308, but has 3 digs, and he serves into the net. Apparently the desert has a bug that affects serve here.
It's called mid-third set lack of focus now. It's early in the year.
Taylor Snowy serving, 8 kills, hitting .429, 2 digs. Over towards Reed, good pass. Set by Smith Van Ooyen. Fabakovic dug in the angle by Schmidt. And knocking it by the block is Snowy, coming in hot on the pipe. 15-17. Snowy back to serve for the Cardinal. That gives him his 8th kill, raising his hitting percentage to .429. Off speed, off the cable. Soa there on the pickup. Outside to Sosa, and Sosa flying high out of the back row with a D-ball destruction. And that brings Aiden Delorier back in for Aiden Klein. Delorier last weekend only missed 1 serve for the Ramblers. And Coach Shane Davis excited. Oh my goodness. Don't say it, Charlie. Don't say it. I'm just giving you information that I get interviewing the coaches. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I'm relaying it to our listeners. Back in comes Aiden Klein for Aiden Delorier. As he take a peek at Carson Neisel serving. Good pass by Fabakovic. Backs at Sosa. And Sosa again through the uprights of Snowy. 1916. If you look at the amount of attack attempts for Sosa and Fabakovic, they are dead even.
Yeah. Kills and attempts. Yep.
Dead I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah.
And mind you, they both have double-digit kills. Snooey to Gant. Rotman blocked up top, stays on the Cardinal side. Right side, Wagner off the block and pursues Reed. But it's too well hit a ball by Mo Swag. Moses Wagner back to serve for Stanford.
He's their go-to. He's the guy they need to get hot now.
Wagner, Fabakovic, perfect pass back to Fabakovic on the give and go. Dug tight. And Mana Carrera lighting it up in the middle. Mana Carrera.
Both of them out of the back row, so they're always splitting the block.
Oh.
You know, and then Reed, they've allowed Reed one-on-ones, and he puts those away.
That's right. You're looking at a Sosa who's over in area 4. Fabakovic is over here in area 1.
They're split, always split.
Wagner back to serve, knocking on the door of the Ramblers at 18-19. Wagner low toss. Fabakovic outside of Sosa, and Sosa dug by Schmidt, and they call it dead, and the Cardinal are not happy. And the R1, Bill Forrester, asking for a review of his own. As you notice, there are no lines officials here on duty. They're relying on the video challenge system here. Oh, that was off his shoe. Schmidt got it off his shoe. It's still good and in play.
That is up. That is up.
Nike credited with a dig.
Yeah, there you go. They're sponsoring.
So we've got
sponsored in so many ways.
So successful. Well, no, it's not a challenge, but a replay called on the court. So Nike sponsoring the first point completed challenge and our stats, and now the shoes of Kai Schmidt. So didn't it go off his head too? So it could have been a double, right? Oh, but there are no doubles called.
Not on the first contact. So
Wagner off speed, and he hits Schmidt out of the, or Oyen, not Schmidt, Schmidt and Oyen as he's rotating to the net and serve receive.
Caught him in no man's land.
So that's an ace for Mo Swag. Second ace of the season. First of the year. And we're all tied at 19s. Wagner, Soa, Smith Van Oyen, Sosa over the block, dug by Snooey. Poked through the block by Gant. Gant's claiming there's a touch, but no referee is calling a touch on the play, and Coach Cossey is saying play on.
No, yeah, his team looked at him and said no, no, no. It tells you maybe in practice there's a few touches. Oh, it wasn't really a touch.
And that brings Fabakovic back to serve. 14 kills, hitting .407. Off the cable, picked up by Rotman. In the middle, Carrera. And Carrera picking it up here late in set number 3. The perfect score, 20-20. For Carrera, that's kill number 6, who only has 1 attack there. He's hitting .455.
It's a pretty good night for a middle blocker.
Offensive explosion by the Stanford Cardinals, just hanging tight with the Ramblers. Back at the Sosa, and Sosa sending fire in the hole. There is a lot of volume on those balls that are being attacked by Wagner and Sosa.
He's just catching the seam. Not sure why Stanford hasn't figured that they're going to go one wing or the other wing, you know.
21-20. Reed on the serve. Carrera unstoppable in the middle. We've got blackjacks across the board at 21s.
And Loyola put up 2 blockers on him, and he still scored.
And Comana Carrera going back to serve. Why not? He's doing everything else tonight offensively. Carrera has a solo stuff. Fabakovic to Sosa. Sosa off top of the block. Dug by Rotman. Right side to Wagner. And Wagner bringing the heater. Advantage Stanford.
Must have found a seam in that block. I don't know how he got it through.
22-21. We've got a timeout taken by Loyola as they now trail here in set number 3. Loyola coaching staff will give credit to Kyle Exline and Dalton Solbring.
Dalton Solbring was a great player at University of Hawaii. One of those guys that didn't start, came off the bench just when they needed him to help win matches and stuff. And a great. Now he's first year in the coaching realm, bringing over a lot of things he learned from the University of Hawaii to help the Loyola team train.
As you look at some of the crowd in attendance, you got some Stanford fans representing. And it's getting loud in here with our crazy MC host, our hype woman, hype gal. And you can hear the crowd screaming because I can hear nothing in our headsets. Mamie Gerard in the house representing the Atlanta Vibe.
She is fun to watch and nonstop. Doesn't stop for anything. The music's going, she's dancing, she's going all the time.
Well, did you know, Charlie, that she's a stunt woman?
I don't doubt that.
Was in the most recent Sydney Sweeney woman. Her claim to fame is she beat her up.
No.
In the opening scene.
Oh, I love it. She's got personality on top of personality. Really fun to be around.
What others don't know, she played volleyball at San Jose State and played professionally in Herzegovina for a year.
Oh, nice.
So we're back in play. Carrero back to serve at 22-21. Hybrid pass by Fabakovic in the middle to Klein, dug by Rotman. And Snooey on the broken play winner. Now that's guts, swinging against a triple block on a broken play.
The set was a bad set, and the block wasn't set up in the right spot, giving Snooey that cross-court shot.
23-21. We were tied at 20-20. It's a 3-1 run for the Cardinal. Smith Van Oyen, Reed off the top of the block, dug by Carrera, backs at the Wagner. Wagner into the antenna, stops the Cardinal run, 22-23. And one of the most lethal servers at the line for Loyola in Alexander Sosa. Okay, Charlie, I'm not jinxing it. I'm going by the stats here.
Hey, it's an exciting time in the game here, 23-22.
And he drills it over towards Schmidt. Joust one out by Gant. Back over towards Sosa, sets it over. Covered by Gant. He runs down Snooey. No outside attacker. Snooey tips it through the block, dug by Smith Van Oyen. Reed going for high hands, misses everything. And we've got set point Stanford serving at 22. And the Cardinal faithful on their feet, clapping the set point for the Card. See the tree, be the tree. Ryan Gant serving for the Cardinal. Gant getting the starting nod tonight, the 6'5" sophomore setter. Reed off the block, he buys time.
That was pretty gutsy. He hit the cross court, hoping for a tool, and then casually got out of the way of the ball.
Bryce Robbins checking in for Jake Reed. For serving purposes, 23 serving a set point number 2. Robbins, the 5'11", or correction, 6'1" outside hitter. Robbins going through his routine, serves off the cable, pass by McFall, high ball outside of Wagner. Wagner up and away, point, and
we got to see what they have and see how well they build.
Jake Reed of the first serve out of the fourth set, and out of the back row comes Alex Rotman, containing his momentum after jumping out of that back row.
He's been playing very well, very steady. Glad to see him healthy and out there.
Charlie, that's kill number 8, 0 errors, which puts him at 500.
Yep.
Comana Carrera serving as he goes into the net. Free point for the Ramblers. Marching back to the end line for service, Aiden Klein. Klein, the 6'9" junior middle from Evanston, Illinois. Klein, 4 kills, hitting .429, has 2 solo stuffs and a block assist. Winds up and gets an ace off of Snooey down the line for Klein. It's his first ace of the season.
Looked like Snooey was going to let it go, and then it was dropping so fast. He goes, I better get my hands on it.
Commitment issues, Charlie.
Yeah, that's...
Another bomb by Klein, passed by Snooey. Outside to Snooey, he tips by the block, and a finesse shot winner goes off the hands of Bell and then hits the floor out of the diving reach of Fabakovic. 2-1.
I don't know.
Ryan Gant serving for Loyola. That question for Stanford. Gant with 36 assists and an ace. Reed, Smith's Van Ooyen to Fabakovic, and I was about to say he's been a little quiet. Then he goes 4-4 on that angle blast.
4-4, and then when it lands between 2 defenders. So he's keeping from hitting it at anybody either. Also,
it's a thin deli slice, perfect for your appetite.
Thin deli slice.
Alex Smith's Van Ooyen back to serve for Loyola. Goes down the line, ace. Ooh, misses just long. That was really close. 3-3. Wandering into the house is the creator of that video we played between sets 2 and 3, Matt Houlihan, who's coaching a team here, Beta Bay. Ball goes over that, sneaks by Rotman, but he gets it right back on the attack. Soa on the dig. Smith's Van Ooyen to Sosa, dug by Rotman in the angle. Moswag off of Fabakovic, and Moswag brings the heater, bounces it off the shoulder of Fabakovic, pulling off a defense in area 2. Wow. Fabakovic was just in no man's land.
Yeah.
4 serving a 3. Soa, Smith Van Ooyen. Fabakovic does the same to Schmidt down the line. Well, these guys are in a toe-to-toe battle right now.
Yeah.
Fabakovic, watching his career develop as one of the top players in the nation, has been one of the most fantastic things to see, especially when he's like such a good guy.
Yeah, he really is.
Fabakovic, good serve, picked up by Snooey, back set to Wagner. Wagner goes off the block for the famous long-distance tool.
Wagner's playing with such excitement.
Going back to serve is Aluka McFall for Stanford. McFall, 4 kills, hitting .222. McFall on the hybrid. Hand pass by Soa. In the middle, and look out below. Brad Bell on the bombing run.
I hope we can see this replay. Watch his approach. He steps to the ball. Ball went up like a quick, and he lobbed a little right past him. He stepped into it. No blocker in front.
Is that known as a float pattern? Gant outside over towards Rotman, and Rotman puts a stamp in the corner. I mean, it was a little low of a set, but he's still able to get on top of it.
Those 3 pin players for Stanford, they've been there for 4 years. They're legit.
The 3-headed beast of Stanford showing up tonight.
Yep.
Wagner to Reed. Shoot set, and Klein taking the elevator up with a free fall down.
Well, that was from the penthouse. He was way up.
That was easily 12 feet right there.
Yeah.
That brings Sosa back to the service line. 18 kills, hitting .455. 18 points as he serves into the net. You know what? You have to go for it against this Stanford team right now, because if they are anywhere near in system, their pins are playing so confidently right now.
Yep. Well, in the middles too.
That brings Will Rotman back to serve. 9 kills, 0 errors, hitting .474. It's got 9 digs. He's on the edge of a double-double, one that Charlie approves of.
Yeah, that center dig double-double you like is not really a double-double.
Reed on the spin serve. Pass by Snooey. Backs at Wagner. Goes off the block and out of play. Wagner finding a groove here in the third, fourth.
He's just feeling it. You know, he just feels it.
Well, I mean, with that mustache, he's the smooth operator. He's got that perfectly groomed.
Boy, I don't know about that mustache.
Gotcha. Soa, Smith Van Oyen, Fabakovic dug by Carrera. Roll shot by Snooey, over dig by Soa, picked up by Wagner. Set in the middle. McFall is denied by Fabakovic as he double flexes the biceps.
That is not the time to set the middle. Easy ball like that, you got to go outside with it or go on the D.
What a read by Fabakovic and Klein. Klein off the cable, picked up by McFall. And Snooey going hot and flat, trying to get fingers or hand or something. Misses wide and long. And like that, 8-8. Klein for Loyola on the evening. 5 kills, 1 error, hitting .500. Goes to Snooey. Gant to Snooey. Double trouble. Brad Bell. Alex Smits Van Oyen with a return package courtesy of FedEx. All 4 arms, all 20 fingers.
Unbelievable.
10 serving 8 off the cable. Snooey on the pass. Gant back row to Rotman. Rotman blocked up top, recovered by the Cardinal. Rotman swings, misses wide. We're going to have a quick challenge by Coach John Costi. And it's going to be a touch, a block touch or defender touch.
They had a good angle on it. They were looking at the trajectory.
Well, the reality of it is Klein's a big target.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's so long.
Actually, he missed it. His reaction time was so slow, he missed it. Oh, there was a touch. Oh, off the block.
Yeah.
So it's a block touch and a successful challenge by Costi, or Coach John Costi. As Stanford gets the point. I believe they haven't corrected the score, at least what I've seen on my score tracker. Should be 10-9 or 9 serving 10. As Gant goes back to the service line. Fabakovic, Smith Van Oyen, Sosa goes wide, and we are knotted up at 10s. Man, Stanford got away lucky on that one. It's a one-on-one, and Sosa hit wide.
Tried to be too good with it. Didn't need to be that good. So much room.
Gant going back to serve for Stanford. Off the cable and out of play. Point going to Loyola. If you look at this matchup, this will easily be an NCAA opening round match of the championship. Easily.
Very competitive opening round.
Alex Van Oyen back to serve for Loyola. 6-6 setter goes off the cable. Schmidt on the perfect pass. Outside Wagner. And Wagner with a put away.
You know when things are just going your way and you've got energy and you don't think about it, you just play and you're in that zone. That's where Wagner is right now.
He's a smooth operator.
Just getting up, swinging, playing. It's all going well.
Snooey. Soa passes off net, out of system play, goes back to Fabakovic against the grain, and a little beach shot winner gets the point for Loyola. Fabakovic is also really in this great zone play-wise.
Well, both he and Sosa are in that zone, and it's just, and they look like each other.
Snooey on the pass from the serve from Fabakovic. Wagner swings for the sky, dug by Sosa. Smith goes back to Sosa, no block, dug by Schmidt, but it goes out of play. A one-on-none banger by Alexander Sosa.
Rodman goes over to pick the ball up and then just watch the play. And all of a sudden they back set to Sosa, and Rodman's like, oh no. Trying to dive back there. No one out, no one there.
Smith, like a true warrior, took it like a sport.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think he could get out of the way.
13-11. Pass by Snooey. In the middle is McFall. Soa got a platform underneath it, but deflected in the wrong direction. 12-13 as McFall goes back to serve for Stanford. McFall, the 6'9", redshirt junior middle from Pleasanton, California. On the evening, 5 kills, hitting 182. Fabakovic. Smith Van Owen to Sosa and sending it high off the top of the block. 14-12. Checking in, Lucas Anderson for Brad Bell. Sosa is reaching so high out of that right side attack.
Yep. And swinging the same confident hard every time.
Snooey to Rotman, and Rotman delivers cross court. Fabakovic zigged when he should have zagged, but a lot of that had to do with the change of direction of the block, or the ball hit off the block, as Bell checks back in for Anderson on the Ramblers side. Wagner back to serve for Stanford. And Wagner winds up, hits it too long. We've got 15 serving to 13, and we got a timeout. Welcome back to the Phoenix Convention Center and the First Point Collegiate Challenge presented by Nike, where the Ramblers lead by 2 here in set number 4, 15-13, but trail the Stanford Cardinal 2-1 in our best of 5 matchup. We're about ready to get back into play out of the media timeout, and you're looking at Alexander Sosa serving for the Ramblers. Sosa cross court, dropping an ace on the deck. Point Loyola, 16-13.
That almost looked like he missed it. Everybody was surprised on the Stanford side. They go, whoa.
That was the nasty Vegas dealer with the ace up the sleeve, throwing it down on the blackjack table. Ball's passed by Snooey outside of Rotman. Rotman off the block, still error-free. 14-16, and look at this stat line. 11 kills, 0 errors on 22 attempts.
I believe that's 500.
And on the verge of getting a double-digit kills, or digs.
Got 9 digs also.
Got a substitution for Stanford, checking in for the first time, correction of the 4th set, Ryan Duras. Duras winds up at the service line. Pass, broken play, saved by Smith Van Oyen. Reed off the top of the block. And that's the stuff that outside hitters are made of.
Yeah, ball, is passed out of the court. The set was bump set, 10 feet off, and he just aimed for the outside hand. It's a great shot.
Reed waiting the whistle at the service line. Spin cross court over towards Rotman. Gant on the quick. And Mana Carrera making a case that he's an offensive force. For Carrera, that's kill number 8 on the night. He's only got 1 attack error.
Yeah, he's getting it done too.
And going back to serve is Luke Morrison, checking in for serving and defensive purposes. So a perfect dime. Set on the quick over towards Klein, and ball's dug up and out of play. 18 serving to 15. And checking in for the first time on the Loyola side is number 29, Tyler Howard. 6'4", redshirt sophomore outside from Anaheim Hills, California, and Canyon High School. Howard, cross court over towards Schmidt. Gant outside over to Snooey. Doug, and we got a net violation called against the Ramblers.
That hurts.
And going back to Ryan Gant, substitution back in Aiden Klein for Tyler Howard. We've got a 16-18 score. Gant serving up for the Cardinal. Good pass by Reed, and Bell on the quickie in the middle, 19-16. Alex Smith's Van Ooyen back to serve for Loyola. 43 assists, 8 digs, 2 block assists.
There's a point where the pass dictates the tempo of the transition. Those passes are low and quick. You can run the middle. The high pass is not. You got to hold the middle and go outside with it.
And running out of real estate is Daniel Fabakovic off that attack by Will Rotman.
It's a great effort.
Point going to the Cardinals, 17-19. Snooey looking to serve again, and Snooey having a phenomenal night. 13 kills, hitting .391, 4 digs and an assist. Soa gets underneath it, set in the middle, and welcome to Thumptown, Brad Bell. Throwing down a bass beat for all the ladies that dance in the house.
Oh, Rob. Come on.
Well, as Wandering Phoenix in the club around the corner was happening, and that was the same music sound that was coming out.
Not Wandering Phoenix.
We've got a timeout taken.
Really excited. Kind of just feel the excitement. And then the hype girl is definitely hyping us all.
The teams are ready to get going. We've got a substitution checking in. Bryce Robbins for Jake Reed on the Ramblers side, as they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Daniel Fabakovic going back to serve for the Ramblers. Fabakovic on the night, 17 kills, hitting .452. Snooey passes off net. Schmidt steps in to set, and Wagner somehow gets it over the triple block and right into the coffin corner.
Deepest part of the court, that deep cross court over the block, which allowed that to give him a lot of room to hit.
And Carson Neisel checks in for the Cardinal, trailing by a pair. Takes a deep breath, high toss on the spin serve. Off the cable, Soa on the offering. Outside to Reed, he misses long. And the bench Loyola bench looking to the Loyola coaching staff. Should we challenge? And waved off, but instead they take a timeout. And we've got a timeout taken by Loyola, only leading by 1 now. There is high drama here in the tail end of our fourth set, as one team is on the bubble, entering the red zone, going into the 20s, but just can't do so behind the persevering effort of the Stanford Cardinal defense. They're gritty, they're grinding out rallies. All those broken play winners seem to be going Stanford's way.
Well, the Loyola's hitting 400, the Stanford's hitting 371. Both are great, great numbers. After as long as we've played, and they're both hitting that well, that tells you that they're not putting enough pressure on them with the block or the defense, because they're hitting balls in and with great numbers.
You're looking at the Rambler bench, and they're intense in discussion as you look at the black-clad Stanford Cardinal gearing up to take court again, and we are almost ready to go. We're on a hold courtside, 19 serving to 20. Neisel, the 6'6" junior outside, continues service. Will that be an ice timeout point for Coach Shane Davis?
Could be. Don't say he's a good server.
Neisel clears the net, picked up by Ace. Soa, Reed off the triple block, dug by Snooey. Wagner stays on the Cardinal side, backs at the Wagner against the grain, through the uprights, into the camera. And like that, the perfect score, 20-20 here in set number 4. 2-point run for the Stanford Cardinal behind the serving of Carson Neisel. Neisel again chops it wide, hits it off of assistant coach Dalton Solberg, who doesn't even react because he's just a phenomenon. He's like, looks like Thor.
He
serve.
Looked a lot different when he played at University of Hawaii.
He's clean cut, shaven. Brad Bell serving for Loyola. Pass by Snooey. Back over to Wagner. One-on-one. Dug by Smits Van Oyen. Fabakovic sets Sosa out of the right side. Over the block. OTT. Yeah, you know me. Sosa has jetpacks on his ankles.
Boy.
Bell back to serve. 22-20. Float, will it drop? Yes, it does. Snooey on the pass. Rotman on the attack. Pops it off of Fabakovic. 21-22. And the senior opposite, Moses Wagner, going back to serve. Wagner getting ready to wind up on his takeoff path. Ready for flight. Top spin. Pass by Soa. Shoots that falls on the Ramblers' side. Is almost too quick of a shoot, and Klein ended up missing it. And we've got twos all across the board at 22-22. Timeout taken by Loyola. All tied up here in set number 4 in a must-win set for the Ramblers.
Yes.
And we are high drama courtside here in the Phoenix Convention Center. The crowd 50-50, at least if you're non-affiliated to one of these teams. The crowd really enjoying the volleyball we're seeing here tonight.
Great volleyball, high level, power volleyball. Really, really inspirational for these kids to watch.
And we are looking at the Loyola timeout on screen, but where we're sitting courtside, you can see Coach Shane Davis is working. There is a chess match going on between these two coaches.
Yeah. Yep.
As we are looking at right there, Shane Davis poking his head into the background there after being down on his knee, mapping out the next play. Let's run. You know, I mean, it's going to go to Fabakovic or it's going to Sosa.
You're brilliant, Rob.
I know.
Brilliant.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Oh, yeah.
The volunteer big bucks.
Yeah.
22-22 out of the timeout. Moses Wagner, will he be iced out of the timeout? As we look at our next two teams warming up in our competitor court, Wagner going back to serve. Wagner, Fabakovic on a perfect pass. Sosa off the block and down. And the Ramblers rumble forward.
Rodman almost had him. Rodman had the drop on it and just was a little late dropping over.
And that brings Alexander Sosa back to serve. The junior opposite from Zenjan in Serbia. And this time, Coach Costi takes a timeout. Hence, you're going to move Pon to...
Yes.
This is amazing, the coaching that you're seeing, because you can see the little shifts in their lineup or their blocking schemes each and every play after the timeout.
Well, I say as Rodman almost got Sosa finally on that little hang cross-court shot. Rodman made a big adjustment, throwing that hand in, which just needed to be a little firmer, or he made the adjustment at the right time.
Well, good outside hitter shows the same approach with his shoulders lining up the same way and then turns it that last second.
But you have to be a step ahead when you do that. Can't do it after you haven't set it up.
You're looking at Daniel Fabakovic in the middle of that timeout and Alexander Sosa right next to him. Expect the call to go Superman's way. Actually, it'd be Batman and Robin. There's two of them, so.
Yeah.
because Sosa's behind the service line. 23-22. Sosa standing at 6'8". Cross court over towards Snooey. Tight pass again. Kamana Carrera delivering in the clutch. 23-23. Carrera now with 9 kills, 1 error, hitting just a tad under 600.
Wow.
Alex Rotman.
He hit most of his kills. That time he took a little off of it.
Rotman goes deep over towards Reed. Tipped in the middle by Klein. Pancake save by Rotman. Right side, Wagner dug by Reed. Bumps that right side to Sosa. Nope, he free balls it over instead. Picked up by Schmidt. In the middle to Carrera, and he's denied by Klein. The 10-finger discount brings us to set point. Loyola serving at 23. My goodness, on the bubble of a 5th set tiebreak, but Snooey, perfect pass back to Snooey off the top of the block, and Snooey says, I'm not going 5.
I love it. Great response.
And Mana Carrera going back to serve, all tied at 24s here in set number 4. Carrera off the top of the cable of Fabakovic. Outside of Fabakovic. Off the block, covered by Klein. Smith Van Ooyen to Fabakovic. Fabakovic goes cross court. He's blocked, but is the ball in or out? It was out of my view. So we're going to video challenge.
I think Bill Forster thought the ball was on the Loyola side, and the ball actually...
Oh, that was hit off the block and out. If we look at that replay, so ball's off the block and out. It is now set point number 2 for Loyola, serving the 24. And everyone's clapping their hands, including me. Klein. Walk-off ace to win the 4th set. 26-24, and we are going to start us off. A race to 15. Fabakovic on the broken play pass set by Sosa. Reed cross court dug by Schmidt. Set by Gant. Tip by Snooey, covered by Soa. Smith Van Ooyen down the pipe goes Fabakovic, and he gets the winner off the block. Fabakovic, welcome to the highlight zone as he comes in hot.
His hand control of the ball is what allows him to find the top of the block over and over again.
Reed over towards Snooey, outside to Wagner. The chicken wing dig by Reed. Sosa on the attack. And no touch on the block, misses long. Everyone looking for a touch. No one even fessing up to one.
I don't think they're going to fess up. I can tell you that.
Now let's see here. Teo Snooey serving for Stanford. 1-1. And he goes into the net. Blow for blow. This has been so entertaining here in this opening match of the First Point Collegiate Challenge. As Aiden Klein goes back to the service line for Loyola. Down the line to Rotman. Tight pass again. Back to Rotman. Shove. Dug by Sosa. Back row. Reed misses a block. He kind of hit that on the heel of his hand. Even he's saying, don't challenge. Fabakovic looked at Coach Davis and said, don't challenge that.
Yeah, even Jake Reed, first thing he said, no. Didn't touch.
2-2 the score. I believe the live score is a little frozen here on my end, so I'm going to have to rely on the visuals around me here. Pass by Fabakovic. Schmitz Van Ooyen to Fabakovic, and a laser out of the left side by Fabi.
He brings it back around, and then on the last second just snaps it through.
It's like he's Fantastic Man, flexing his arm without flexibility.
Rob, I have no idea who Fantastic Man is.
Mr. Fantastic is a Fantastic Four, Charlie.
No, I haven't seen that.
Smith-Van Ooyen cross court. Pass, Gant in the middle, dug by Reed. Smith-Van Ooyen back to Sosa. Sosa off the top of the block. And Sosa reaching for the sky and taking care of business.
Yeah, so good.
Sosa really has got the hot hand again. He's carrying it over into this match after last Saturday night. He is hitting .450 with 23 kills at this point. Smith-Van Ooyen, tough serve, passed by Schmidt. Gant fires it outside to Rotman, and he gets it through the seam. Still error-free.
I called my friends in Hawaii after Loyola won the second night there in 4, and I said, what was the difference? They said, well, Loyola passed really well, Jake Reed passed really well, and Sosa.
And Sosa, as Moses Wagner goes back to serve, trailing 3-4. High pass, one-timer, taking out the trash. It's Will Rodman, and get the stat line. 14 kills, 0 errors, hitting .530 plus. And we are tied at 4s after that one-timer by Rotman. Wagner on the serve. Fabakovic, Smith-Van Ooyen to Sosa, tipped by the block, pancake by Wagner. Swinging away is Rodman. He's blocked up top, and it goes out of play. As screams go across net, and Stanford takes the lead. We're going to have a challenge by Coach Shane Davis on the, I guess it's ball in out is what I'm thinking off the block. What do you think, Charlie?
I think it's the in or out.
I'm going to guess it's a ball in out.
So that's 2.
Oh, that's a quick challenge. They reviewed the footage. So play stands as called. Stanford up 5-4. That's so Coach Shane Davis down to 1 challenge.
Yep. Get an extra one in the 5th set.
So he's still got 2 then.
Yeah.
He didn't lose any. That jump hook goes long.
And the challenge was like a timeout, and it worked. They missed their serve.
Fabakovic back to serve, and that's why Coach Charlie Brand's in the house.
No.
Fabakovic, 20 kills, hitting .486. 7 digs, 2 block assists. Fabakovic, cross court, pass by Snooey. Gant tries to dump, he's blocked up top, covered by the Cardinal. Rotman on the offering, and he splits the block. Gives a good stare across. You ain't got this. 6-5 card. And we're gonna have another challenge at the net. I'm not quite sure what Coach Shane Davis is saying to the first referee, but I guess there is no challenge. Davis walked up holding the C for challenge, and then didn't hear what R1 Bill Forrester said, just walked away.
He said, what was it? And then Shane just raised his hand like said, no challenge. Walked away.
Ryan Duras serving up 6-5 here in our 5th set tiebreak. Duras, pass by Fabakovic, overpass, blocked up top and out of play, but off the block of Smith-Van Ooyen. Yep. They need programs to go to. There's a total of 73 total Division I, II programs across the nation. I believe I'm going up top at 39 Division I, and the remaining are Division II. And of course, there's Division III options and NAIA, but for the most part, those are all the programs. And you compare that on the women's side with an exponential growth rate, 76% participation in the last 10 years.
Fastest.
Good pass by Soa out to Reed. He's blocked, covered by Smith-Van Ooyen. On the hand pass, Snooey. No one there on the pick, and a free ball into the net. It looked like Wagner and Rotman both came in on that ball in the back row and weren't sure who's going to take it. So they both came in with approaches as Lucas Anderson to Schmidt. Tight pass, Gant in the middle. Carrera denied by Aiden Klein. And that is the House of Pain.
Boy, I think Gant is giving that set away. He's pushing every ball past the middle, and they're just taking away the right side.
And we've got a timeout taken by Coach John Costi and the Cardinal. 7 up here. I wonder if their hitting percentage is also 500 again.
Well,
Pepperdine. Not, well,
yeah, really it was. I mean, Irvine was outplayed, really.
Off the cable, Schmidt on the pass, outside. Snooey puts it away. 8-7. Anderson made the right move, but there was just so much angle on that. He tried to get his left hand underneath it on the scoop. And back to serve goes Luca Morrison, checking in for defensive purposes. The 6'4" freshman opposite from Irvine. Good pass by Reed. In the middle is Klein. And Klein pulling the trigger. Klein calling for it because he knew. Look at that perfect location on that set.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of that is the route that the middle blocker takes to get to the opening in the block.
Sosa bombs it cross court. Snowy on the shove shot, and it goes off the block and out of play.
Who made that famous? Who brought it to the United States?
That would be Hilaire Heno of UC Irvine, now playing professionally in Poland.
Remember that first year he was doing that, and everyone's going, oh, that's so ugly.
9-8. Perfect pass by Reed. Sosa delivers high, delivers with lethality. 9-9.
Lethality. I like that one.
9-9. That's kill number 24 for Sosa. Reed. Cross court to Schmidt. Outside to Moswag. And Moswag snipes in the deep corner. 10-9. This is like a George Foreman, Muhammad Ali match right now. I was
just going to say the same thing. I was going to say the same thing.
Body blow. Head blow. Yeah. Body blow.
Just no.
Snooey to Soa. Smith Van Ooyen to Sosa. Schmidt on the dig. Over dig to Soa. Smith Van Ooyen. Fabakovic. High off the outside block. 10-10. Holy cannoli. The effort that you're seeing on both sides right now is fantastic. I mean, the libero play, these guys are not letting up.
No. What a great match to be involved with as a fan, even more as a player, and even more as a coach.
Harper on the serve. Right side, Wagner. Wagner off the top of the block. Sosa on the dig. Smith Van Ooyen to Fabakovic. Fabakovic dug. Gant fires it outside to Rotman. Rotman tips by the block. Fabakovic there on the cover. Smith Van Ooyen. Sosa at the right side. And right side, sending fire in the hole, is Alexander Sosa.
As soon as that play got going back and forth, you could see the Stanford block was way out of kilter.
My goodness, we got a timeout taken by Stanford, now trailing 11-10 on the reversal of fortune. Sosa rising up out of that right side. Kill number 25, hitting .455. Couple assists and an ace and 6 digs. And Sosa not to be denied right now.
Well, all of the Ramblers are playing, really, really aggressive games. Everybody out there is, you have to survive. And those, Sosa attacking has been really, really good.
Well, even just the play of the liberos like Sosa and Schmidt, they are getting their feet to the ball. They're getting good plays in system to run not only in transition but in serve receive. They're taking bombs.
There's no free balls over there. Everything's a swing, and so many now are starting to come back over the net.
Yeah. And the teams are getting ready to come back on the court as you hear the whistle from our first referee, Bill Forrester. Our second referee, Patty Rolfe, both world-renowned and well-respected officials. Sergio Gonzalez, the final member, or the R3 on the crew, on video challenge review. And stepping back to serve for the Ramblers, coming off is Tyler Howard. And Rodman dug up and over. Wagner going over the top of Fabakovic. The stash taking care of business. Wow.
11-11. Stanford's hitting 357. Loyola's hitting 353.
Reed on the perfect pass. Smits Van Ooyen. Fabakovic off the block. One hand save by Wagner. Picked up by Gant. And rejected up top, but covered by the Cardinal. Rodman on the swing. Off the top of the block. Saved by Soa. Fabakovic. Free ball up and over. We're still playing. Gant. Big over towards Snooey. And he hits it wide. Talk about intense. Everyone just putting out some kind of limb to keep the ball in play.
You know, Rob, it's so intense now that it's actually getting a little bit helter-skelter out there. There's not, you know, they're not making smooth the plays, but they're still playing hard.
12-11 as Alex Smits Van Ooyen goes back to serve for Loyola. Tough serve. Gant sets outside. Rodman, and he hits it off the outside hand of Sosa and gives a look.
What a great turn. Ball is set too tight, and he just quickly snaps his wrist and breaks it off the net and out.
Oh my goodness. 16 kills, 0 errors on 31 swings. That's Alex Rodman's stat line right now. Overpass. Out of play. Make that an ace. Advantage. Stanford. And we've got a quick timeout taken by Loyola as they now trail as Snooey delivers from the service line with his 3rd ace of the season, 4th of the night. Charlie, talk to me. This is an intense scenario here.
Oh, it's
tail end of the 5th set.
You know, it's the heavyweight boxing battle. And fighting for every single point. That's what makes it really exciting.
As we are looking at the sideline view, there is literally a Superman on the court right now, and Will Rodman, he refuses to lose. 17 kills, 0 errors, hitting .531 and 10 digs.
You know, sometimes you feel really confident when you score that 13th point and you're 13-12. But the way this match has gone tonight, it kind of works against you. You almost want to be below, you know, having the lower score and be pushing upward.
Well, this has the makings of a 30-28 5th set right here.
In a set to 15. Yeah.
I think the longest 5th set tiebreak I've worked was 34-32.
Who's that?
I can't remember who it was. Like one of the, like a non-5th set was a 42-40. That was back in the Saeda against Irvine versus USC.
I remember that.
Soa passes off the net. Fabakovic on the save. Sosa swings off speed. Dug by Snooey. Gant outside. Rodman off the top of the block. Dug by Reed in pursuit. High ball outside. Sosa swings to the block. Dug by Snooey. Saved by Wagner. Rodman swings. And he hits it wide. Point going to Loyola, and we're tied at 13.
Look at that rally. Now all of a sudden, Sosa's getting dug. Rodman's getting dug. And we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Daniel Fabakovic serving for Loyola, 13-13. Fabi. And it's almost an ace, saved. And denied at the net. Triple trouble by Bell, Sosa, and Reed. And we've got match point Loyola. 13.
Wow.
A triple threat block by the Ramblers gives them their first match point with Fabakovic at the service line. Tight pass, Gant sets right side, Wagner through the block, saved by Bell. Soa sets left side to Reed. Reed denied, dug up and over, picked up by Wagner. Gant, Bick, set over by Snooey, picked up by Smith-Van Olaine, set by Soa, right side, Sosa. Sosa through the block, 4-point set and match as the Ramblers take the 5-set thriller to kick off the first point collegiate challenge presented by Nike. Match number 1.
Whoa. 3 more to go. That was
The final scores. Oh my goodness. Stanford takes set number 1, 25-21. Bounce back winner for Loyola, 25-22 in the second. Loyola says not so fast as they take the third, 25-23.